Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Talking Real Estate with Champions Real Estate Team here at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate Company. My name is Mark Wehner II, team leader at Champions Real Estate Team. Joining me today is Russ Williams with Williams Mortgage. So we jump on here every Wednesday and kind of give you a rundown what we've seen in the real estate market and the mortgage industry in the last week. So let's jump. Our quick tip. I always want to jump right into it. So quick tip of the day: check out our website, championsrealestateteam.com. And I'll share with you the as you can go on here on our website, pull in. Obviously, you can do all your searches, but the thing I want to show you is here on the right-hand column, you have the buyer's guide and the seller's guide. So you click on that and it takes you to our Google Drive essentially, and you can download our basically free buyer's guide and seller's guide. So it's just got some good information, the home steps in the process, home buying goals. This home buyer property evaluation checklist. I teach a real estate continuing education class for 3 hours on this one checklist. So there's a lot of good information on there of what to look for when you're buying a house, things you don't even think about. You know, if you don't know what you don't know. But this is a great resource on here to look through when you are looking to buy a house. This property evaluation checklist. So that's, like I said, I teach a 3-hour class basically just on these 2 pages. So there's tons of information. Obviously, I can go over it in detail in 3 hours, but save you that time right now. But yeah, so go onto our website, championsrealestateteam.com. On the right-hand side, we got our home buyer's guide and our home seller guide. So you don't need to sign up or anything. I know if you're searching on our website, we do ask you to they'll ask you to register. That information just comes straight to our team. We're not going to blow up your phone every 5 minutes, 30 seconds to get you to call us. We're here to help you, be a resource. Love for you to use our website. Let us know what you think. If there's any tweaks or anything you see on there that would make it more useful for you as a buyer or seller. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff on there. So anyways, that is our quick tip for the day: is check out our website, go down on the right-hand side of the buyer's guide and seller's guide. So those will open up into the Google Drive site there, and you can kind of go through everything, moving stuff and all that good stuff. So all the fun stuff, more fun stuff than you can shake a stick at. So anyways, jumping into the real estate market, what we're seeing here, kind of similar to what we've been seeing the previous weeks. Basically, looks like we were almost exactly 1 in, 1 out this last week. So we were down on listings just a little bit. We were up in the 500s, I think, last week, if I remember correctly, like 516 or something like that. But we were down to 449 new listings in this last week. We had 443 new contracts. So as you can see, the ones came on, came off, boom, they're gone. We had 467 happy new homeowners. We're still seeing multiple offers out there. I had a listing go live last Friday that was sold this week, or sold the weekend as well. So in the 275 price point, I do have a new listing coming up on this Friday by 120th and Center Street. It is walking distance, about 4 houses from Winchell's Donuts. Or if you like Krispy Kreme, I'm kind of preferential to the Winchell Donut myself. But so it'd be, maybe that's a good thing or a bad thing, I guess, if you buy that house, of how your proximity to the donuts. But it's a great house. Updated windows. Was a single owner there that would live there for 30 years. So it's a great house, maintained, updated kitchen, roof, vinyl siding, new driveway, I think like 2 or 3 years ago. So that's in excellent shape as well. So it's an awesome house, listed at 245. So if you have any questions, give me a holler. Happy to show that one to you. And you'll obviously see that going live on our website this Friday. So carpets are getting cleaned today. So it'll be all ready to rock and roll for that next owner. But yeah, so I mean, it's kind of 1 in, 1 out. We're seeing that in the marketplace. I think, as silly enough as it sounds, we had College World Series this last week. So I think that kind of slowed a little bit as far as the activity that we saw. But looking at the 30,000 foot view, I still think that active sold and pendings is probably the most indicative of what the market's doing, because these numbers here aren't changing much. When you look at the 2,300 homes in the Omaha and Lincoln market, that's great, but we're hovering right around there. But this really doesn't show how much is coming on and coming off, which that previous chart I think does very well. 449, 443 on and off the market. And we've had, zoomed in on there a little bit. We have 1,385 active listings in the Douglas and Sarpy County area. And then breaking that number down a little bit further, existing homes, so homes that are not new construction, we have 560 of them, 825 new construction. We have about a month and a half supply of inventory. What that means, if we didn't have any more houses come on the market, we would not have anything on the market in a month and a half. Our average sold price went up another $1,000 this week, was at 330 last week. It just keeps kind of going up. And I think we're seeing some of that activity. But this kind of 30,000 foot view, and our last graph that we just showed, our graphics that we just showed, is kind of what's indicative of what's going on. So people may say, hey, there's nothing coming on the market. We still have low inventory. We do, but they're just coming on and coming off so fast that our big picture 30,000 foot view isn't seeing the activity. It's just, it's kind of like up when you're flying above the clouds, the clouds break and you look down, you see the cars moving, but when you get down in rush hour, there's tons of activity down there. And that's kind of what we're seeing in our marketplace in the Omaha metro area. So, but yeah, that's kind of rundown I got for the real estate side of it. I guess from the mortgage side, Russ, you're still on mute. So yep. And then, I guess, what do you kind of see on the mortgage side?
Mortgage rates are continuing to move sideways, which is kind of what we expected. The last couple of weeks have been kind of light on economic data, but we have a bit of a flurry starting later this week with what they call personal consumption expenditures, which is the Fed's favorite measure of inflation. And we're hoping for 11 consecutive months of improving and reducing inflation. And if that happens, and we have a weaker jobs report, the non-farm payroll report, a week from Friday, that might be enough to start to show some improvement in rates. Some of the foreign countries have been a little bit behind us in their fight against inflation. And so that's given us a little bit of headwind as far as rates go, but they're generally trading in a narrow channel and going sideways. And so rates really are unchanged week over week. We are continuing to see subsidy programs being used in creative ways. For example, some of the first-time home buyer subsidy programs out there, home buyers are using those to either cover discount points to buy down that interest rate to get them more buying power and give them a lower monthly payment. Or in some cases, they're using that to cover some appraisal gap. Obviously, as you know, Mark, we're continuing to see a very active market under 350 price point. And if the home is priced right, shows well, goes very quick. And a lot of times with multiple offers. So first-time home buyers, of course, can be a little bit disadvantaged, but having some appraisal gap to work with can make a big difference. And in the event that those first-time home buyers are feeling a little bit uncomfortable with the payment, where they're using some of those subsidies to buy down the rate a little bit. So those are some things we've been seeing over the last few weeks.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I think some of the houses too, I've seen, on the listing side and working with buyers, some of them really don't need an appraisal gap, in my opinion, looking at the comparable homes that are out there. But those sellers like that warm and fuzzy feeling of like, oh, I got this little, playing with houses money that if it doesn't appraise, I have that, not just, you're almost guaranteed that purchase price, depending on what the appraisal kind of comes back with. But yeah, I think that's kind of a wrap for this week. I mean, there's still tons of activity. Love to help you out. Yeah, go back on our championsrealestateteam.com website, and you can check out, those home buyer guide and the home seller guide. That's got some great information on there. You can read through that. And then give us a holler with any of your questions you got. So 402-672-7670 is how to reach me. 290-8936. You give Russ a holler, and he can get you taken care of on that side and answer any questions. So appreciate everyone listening. If you listen to this later, feel free to comment, text me, have questions, comments, and all that kind of fun stuff. And love to hear from you. And if you have any other topics you want us to cover, we usually just try to, get what the market's doing. But if we need to do special episodes or anything like that, we're happy to cover anything as we move forward. So thank you very much, and take care. And we will see everybody next week, and have a safe 4th of July out there, and come back with all your fingers and toes and all that good stuff. So take care.